All right.
Yay!
Yay, we're live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Innovators and Risk Takers.
Woo!
Yeah, Friday wine edition. Cheers.
Cheers.
I'm here with my good friend, Christina Marie Noel. And we are I feel like we're soul sisters.
I think so. I really do.
When we first met, we had a video chat.
We did.
And we clicked right away.
Totally.
Yeah. I think it's the marketer thing.
Totally.
So I am actually going to be on Christina's panel next week. I'm super excited. Social media panel for Figure Your Shit Out.
That's it. FYSO.
FYSO. That's right. So I wanted to talk to Christina beforehand, and we just happened to be in the same space. This is totally off the cuff.
Yep.
It's not planned. It's unscripted.
What?
Right?
Yeah, we're just showing up. I mean,
it's reality television is what it is.
I know. I've always been terrified of being on a reality TV show because I would definitely be the person that would lose it.
Throw a chair. She's not going to throw a chair at me.
No.
We have a lot of chairs back there, so it might take a while.
I'm sure I'd just be crying in the fetal position in the corner, but that girl that everyone loves.
Cheers.
Whatever.
So we are going to find out what FYSO is. I'm sure you're all dying to know. So what is FYSO?
All right. So figure your shit out. So it's actually a few things, interestingly enough. So it's an ebook that I created. It's free.
Cool.
And then that actually led to the creation of an accelerator program. So the ebook kind of ties in with an accelerator. You might be wondering, an accelerator is just a fancy term for a program where traditionally accelerator programs are for startups. So you typically get some kind of funding. Accelerators are super fancy, and you get some seed funding. They hook you up with a bunch of mentors and investors.
Nice.
And also typically they're very much focused on high growth. They're you're going to build your business and you're going to scale it. And then they end typically with some kind of demo day where you're this is my business. I'm super fancy and give me more money. And
that sounds about right.
I mean, that's slightly exaggerated, but not really. And so I kind of saw a gap in the marketplace where I work in social impact. I've been part of the B Corp movement, which if you haven't heard of it, stands for B corporations. So they're companies they're entrepreneurs using business as a force for good. Okay. And I mean, you get it.
Yeah.
You own a mission-driven company, and what's for us? What is the support system for people that might want to build a company that's slow growth or reasonable growth, or that cares more about mission and purpose in addition to profit, and so maximizing stakeholder value? And what if you don't know what you want your company to be, and you don't know if you want to be high growth? What does that mean for you? And interestingly enough, FYSO was created for any mission-driven entrepreneur, and we've actually pivoted more into just working with women entrepreneurs who women. We want to go low and slow sometimes, or really explore and understand what's our why, what's our value proposition, and build a business that's going to make a broader impact.
Yeah.
And do it on your own terms.
Yeah. Do you feel that women are less likely to ask for angel investors?
Oh yeah.
We're more maybe conservative in that matter, or we just want to do it ourselves?
I think so. The resources that are out there, there's nothing wrong with them. If someone comes through the FYSO Accelerator and is I want to go high growth, I'm that's awesome. But typically when we're starting out, we're not thinking from a high growth mindset. I think we're thinking, man, should we bootstrap? Or many of us work in service businesses, which accelerators don't want to touch you if you want to work in the service industry. But Interestingly, what's ironic about that is most of our economy is service-based.
Right.
So it's kind of funny that an entrepreneurship, I'm a service-based business, so I'm a consultant or I'm a marketer. Yeah. That's a dirty word. It's then you're on your own. And I'm that's how most of our economy is built. Anyway. But there's and here's the thing, starting a business is always hard. It's hard for anyone, even if you're building a service-based business. And so a lot of FYSO, interestingly enough, so I have an MBA in marketing and entrepreneurship, and so I'm super nerdy, and I was like, oh, it's going to be this great thing. We have all these tools. What most people care about is support and having like a safe space to be supported. And I mean, the roller coaster that can be entrepreneurship, and then accountability. So like oftentimes as solo founders who are like doing it themselves, and leadership can be really lonely. Mm-hmm. And so like it gives them momentum and a place to like set goals, hold themselves accountable, and mainly just, I mean, one FYSO participant just calls it her like business support group.
Nice. And we all need different kinds of support as entrepreneurs, and just to have that group of people that you know are in your corner and are at the same kind of stage as you and figuring their shit out like you together is really powerful. I think that entrepreneurs do get isolated really easily, and I was talking about this just last week with Johnny actually, and you get stuck in the working in your business rather than working on your business. Yes. And that's what you specialize in, is helping you.
Definitely. Yeah. Because it's so easy. Like, and what's so hard is, interesting, like FYSO starts with, the Accelerator program starts with really like, what is my why? Like what does success look like to me as a person?
Yeah.
Because then that's really a powerful place to start. So then you can think about, well, then how do I build a business that actually works for me? Because most people don't talk about like product founder fit. It's not just like, am I building something that's going to work for other people? It's also, am I going to build a life that works for me? Because where I do see a lot of women entrepreneurs like trip up is that often we like start with an idea. So we're either passionate about an idea or we're really good at what we do. And so then we go, well, might as well just own my own business. However, owning a business is a different skill set.
Yes.
It's one that can totally be developed.
Absolutely.
And yeah, many of us are just doers, and we have to also be business owners. Mm-hmm. And so FYSO kind of gives people a place to make sure they are working on the business, that they're not just putting out fires, and that they're asking like these bigger, higher level questions about, is this going to make me enough money? Is this a sustainable business? Is this even what I want to do?
Yeah.
And you get to define your success versus going into an accelerator program where success is big VC money, high growth, fast,
yeah,
like all of these like very cool metrics versus like fulfillment and community and changing the world, which is,
and the first one doesn't sound appealing to me. Like,
no,
I don't want to do the whole angel investor.
No, I mean, unless there's a good reason. Like, unless my why becomes something bigger, where like, if I was working on a project where I needed tech that needed high amounts of investment, okay, sure.
Right.
But unless I find that product that I really want to build, even if I build a product, there's actually a whole, my friend's a developer, and there's a whole like tiny conf, like startups for the rest of us podcast and movement, where even developers are like, I don't want to go that route. Like, how can I bootstrap this? How can I build my own software as a service company that I run and nobody else owns? Like, I mean, I think ownership and being able to run your life and run your own business is pretty powerful.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think that sometimes, you know, entrepreneurs, and most entrepreneurs do bootstrap.
Right.
I mean, almost all of us do, you know, do, at least in the beginning, you know, until you're, if you are high growth, that's awesome. But sometimes I feel like people are, you know, saying, oh, well, you're just going it on your own. You know what I mean?
You're not treated the same. You are not treated the same. Like,
thing.
I mean, it's all, I mean, and then like add in hashtag bias. I mean, I don't ever want anyone operating in a victim mindset, but I feel like as women, we can sometimes feel like we're not taken seriously. And sometimes we actually aren't taken seriously.
Mm-hmm. And do you know what used to drive me crazy is mompreneur. Ugh, cringy. It's cringy. So I started a business when I was a new mom at actually a baby store, an online baby store. And yeah, I got called that a lot. Oh, you're a mompreneur. No, I'm a business owner. I'm a mom, which is cool. And it's pretty kick-ass that I'm doing both at the same time.
Yeah, but you don't want to
But one is not, you know, dependent on the other.
I know. And we're hoping to start a family soon. And I've thought a lot about that. There's a really good podcast out now that's called Startup Pregnant, where she still owns, like, it's what does it look like to be like a high performing, powerful female business leader who happens to be a mom.
Right. Oh,
and being
perfect.
like honest about it. Like what is the world not telling us? What does this actually look like? It's real. It's not, you're a mompreneur. Yeah. Where it's like cute. It's serious. Like, because it is serious. I mean, if you want to be fun and light and playful, great. But still, I think we should all be taken seriously.
Yes.
Like, this is no joke. Like, putting yourself out there, taking risks, and building a business, and the vulnerability and authenticity and level of leadership that takes, like, it's not a joke. Like, it's not cute. Even though I love it, I'm like, and then my brand is figure your shit out. I'm like, we're not going to be cute. Take me seriously. Actually, that was one of the hardest decisions I made, was calling it figure your shit out, because I was worried that it'd be perceived as kind of a joke.
Right.
But it's not. It was actually a strategic decision that was for people who are fed up, who want a no BS environment. And I'm like, and if you're upset by a little bit of cussing, then like, you're probably not going to fit in with the culture of like what we're building. So,
right. They're not your ideal client. Yeah,
exactly. Sure. They're not my ideal customer.
Yeah. And I think it goes along with your personality. You're really gregarious and boisterous and fun. And, so like, why not have that authenticity of who you are? And, most people, I think, respond to that because
it's real. It's meant to be real. Yeah. And edgy brands work. Fun fact. Like, when I show up to any conference with my figure, like, I just have like a real scrappy, like a little poster that says, "Are you ready to figure your shit out?" Like, people will come up. I don't have to like try to get people to my booth. They're just like, "Oh, are you ready to figure your shit out?"
Yeah.
What?
Well, it's the purple cow.
It's the purple cow.
Yeah.
Yes, Seth Godin.
Shout out to Seth.
You should be on Seth Godin's blog.
Do you get his Facebook Messenger? His messenger bot? It sends me his blog every morning at 6 a.m. Used to be 7 a.m., but with the time change, he never changed it. Come on, Seth. Where are you? So now at 6 a.m., I get a little ding on my phone next to my bed, and I'm like, oh, Seth. And it's only like 3 paragraphs, so it's nice and short, and it's motivating.
He is like my idol. And so if you ever read the ebook, like, there's a lot of Seth Godin. Like, I just pay homage to him. Okay. I mean, even writing a free ebook.
That makes us even more sisters because I love him too.
I'm like so obsessed. Because what I love about Seth is he puts his best work out there for free. And I truly believe that generosity pays off in the end.
Absolutely.
Not with expectation for anything in return. Like, you can sign up for my ebook. And actually, I'm thinking about making it ungated. Fun fact, if you don't want to get emails from me. Because people just assume I'm going to be super spammy. I wanted them to sign up to do like an email series, like with stuff that might not be so obvious.
Yeah.
But if it's blocking people from reading the content, I'm going to test it out.
I think that's the way to go. I think that, I've been doing a lot of research on various marketing techniques lately. Getting back into the world of marketing full time after being in operations and marketing. So I'm just like a sponge, right? I'm just absorbing it all. And I've noticed on Facebook, you get the gurus, right? And
they're so
I almost fell for one.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, oh, maybe she's right. And
was it like 6 months? It's like 6 months to 6 figures. God. There is no
there's no magic
I've been
pill.
Looking for the magic pill.
No,
it does not exist. It is person by person, relationship by relationship.
It's hard work.
Being real.
It's perseverance. It's making mistakes.
Yeah,
it's failing, and
hashtag
failing,
FYSO.
and then succeeding, and then failing again. It's learning, and you have to put in the hard work. There's no easy.
There's not enough.
It's snake oil, right? It's been around since they were shouting in the streets, literally snake oil. But it's the same thing, It is. A girl driving a Tesla.
They rent them. They literally rent the Teslas. Like,
really?
Some of them do. Like, the really obnoxious ones will like rent a plane or like take a plane for a day and be like, I'm rich. And I'm like, oh my God, like for some people, is that really your definition of success?
Well,
Like,
and does it really turn people on? Like, because
Apparently,
immediately I'm
it
like,
used to.
no,
I know.
I don't think this is, I don't want to be like them. I just
Agreed.
think that we're getting smarter online. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, anybody can learn the Facebook formulas of Facebook ads and, you know, and do the sales funnel and, you know, and
But it's so expensive now. It's like, is
Yeah.
it even worth it? Because I mean, I was actually working with a marketing client recently, and you know, like we tested out Facebook and we're both really excited.
Yeah.
And even then, you're still selling to strangers. And when you're selling to strangers, it's top of the funnel. You know, you have to move them through the funnel, and that takes time. And I mean, and advertising is arguably the most expensive form of marketing.
Right.
I mean, it works
Absolutely.
eventually. It's a numbers game, but like,
Yeah.
pop-ups, events. I mean, and speaking of, FYSO is also an event meetup because I wanted to make a free edition. And also, I truly believe that like events are still like the most underrated form of marketing. Yeah. So if you have free booze and free food, people will show up.
Absolutely.
Pretty much inevitably.
Yeah.
And like, if you're on a super tight budget, you can throw an event if you can find an event space to sponsor, or like throw it at a bar, or in our case we have a co-working space. Yeah. I mean, it's like $120.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it's not a lot of money.
Right.
Like for wine and really good food.
Right.
Although you still need to spring for the good food. I think like spending a little bit more on good stuff.
Yeah.
Then builds that
Fresh
reputation.
food. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. So speaking of events, let's move right into that. So next week we are doing I guess it's your meetup, right?
Yes, it's a FYSO meetup, figure your shit out meetup.
Yep.
My thought was, I was like, okay, there's Accelerator. That's for like the people who are like really in it, like ready to dive in for 6 months. I mean, it's 6 months. It's not a like walk in the park. It's like a weekly commitment for 6 months of like long-term support, which I mean, it's basically, I built what I wanted. I built, and then I iterated on customer feedback, but essentially it's like a weekend kickoff in 6 months. But then for people who want something less, who might just want to come and like learn about a topic, we created meetups. Yeah. And so the topic of next week's meetup is social media. I love that I like got confused. Can I say social impact so much? Like social media.
Not natural to me.
This.
That's right.
What we're doing right now.
And we were just kind of like, you know, talking crap about Facebook ads, but if you do it right, it's powerful. And if you're doing the organic social media and connecting with people, video is so powerful. You know, just connecting with people is really important to do, I think. So.
I completely agree. I mean, people want to see people. People want interaction.
And it's hard getting people out.
Right.
So like if you can see people up until your event, you know, online, then, you know, you form a more of a connection. we're going to talk about this at the event next week, but I kind of hated social media for a while, and I got like super burned out. And then interestingly, one of our panelists, Danae with Aspiring Coach, she helped me shift my focus to, as an entrepreneur, you get so busy that I realized I can't have all of these one-on-one conversations with friends, but I feel like I can actually have these like one-to-many conversations through Instagram stories and Facebook stories, and like through like a more regular, consistent social media existence, to where like I'm getting feedback. Like I'll see friends at events who are like, I've been loving your videos. And I'm like, that's kind of weird and cool. And you do that every Friday.
Yes. I also have a FYSO Friday, which does. Hey, we turned it into a team FYSO Friday.
Yeah. So you do that on Instagram?
Yeah, Instagram stories, but then I'll save them and put them on YouTube.
Okay.
So
what is your Instagram? So everybody knows.
At Christina Marie Noel.
My name. Easy.
Yeah.
Name. And you also put it on YouTube.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah, that way, just in case you actually are doing something fun on a Friday, other than like hanging out online with us.
There's walking involved.
We're doing great today.
Sip break.
I know. I think it's important.
So it's going to be on Wednesday.
Yep. November 20th.
Next Wednesday at Capital Club, HQ Capital Club.
Yes.
In the Cannon Room, which is on the 12th floor. So you just take the double gold fancy elevators.
So cute.
Yeah.
It's like an
top.
adorable menu.
Yeah.
You have some great wine, a little bit of beer,
Okay.
and cheese. Oh, and free chocolate, courtesy.
Nice.
I have like the best hookup. I think I'm a divine chocolate influencer, and they just pay me in chocolate because I'm actually genuinely obsessed. I spend a lot of money
there, so I can like.
I know. I need you to have you meet Liz. So Liz Miller is their marketing manager up in DC, and I've interviewed her before for another project that I've worked on.
Nice.
And we became
besties. We're gonna have chocolate.
Yeah, and so she just bribes me in chocolate.
Perfect.
So,
perfect. All right. So you heard it. Wine and chocolate. Next Wednesday, and we have.
And Heather.
Oh, and me. I'm a panelist.
Yay!
And we have 3 other panels.
We do. So we have Danae Edmonds, who I mentioned, with Aspiring Co. She does amazing content. She's a content creator, a graphic designer, a marketer.
Awesome.
She's taught me most of what I know about Instagram. She gave me I went from hating it to being inspired by her. So that's legit.
Yeah.
Jade Sutherland, who actually is a marketing manager at HQ.
Oh,
she also works for, I'm worried I'm going to say it wrong, Provocana Math.
Did not know that.
Please forgive me, Jade. Sorry, girl. But anyways, it's a fabulous yoga company.
Cool.
And she's just all around, her and I have talked strategy, and she's on point with showing up.
She's a hard worker too.
She is. She's no joke.
She's dives in a social.
And then last but certainly not least, we also have Tracy Trellis. So she runs Trellis Beauty in North Raleigh. She brought clean beauty to Raleigh, and her social media presence just on point. I mean, she's a beauty expert. She looks gorgeous, shows up, creates fun videos all the time.
That's great.
I feel like I'm there all the time, even though I need to go more often. She does these amazing beauty steams and facials.
Oh.
And sells
I need to go there.
all clean beauty that you don't have to think about. Yeah, I'm a fan.
Perfect. Awesome. Okay. And me.
And you.
I'll be there.
Yay!
So yeah, it's a great panel. I think you'll learn a lot if you come, and it's free.
Yep. Free.
You don't need to register. If you want to register, you can, but
you should register so I know how much wine to buy.
Yeah. We don't want to run out of wine.
I know. So please register.
Please register. Yeah. So where can they register?
Oh, Eventbrite. We'll put the link on these pages.
That's a good idea. Yeah. So after this video ends, we'll add the link, and you can find it and come and see us and have wine with us.
Yay. It's going to be so much fun.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Likewise.
It was really fun hanging out with you on a Friday. And thanks everyone for tuning in. And we will see you next Wednesday. Bye.